a couple of guidelines for writing groups, okay? So, I assume that this light turns on. This is new from last year. We stood up here like apes banging stones against it for a while and couldn't figure it out. I might have my AV guy come and try and figure it out. So eventually maybe we'll have a light up here. So until then I won't write in the shadow. So if you are a workshop-er, giving advice, right? Here's a few points to give you. Try to be descriptive of your emotions, not proscriptive. Right? Okay. Try to be descriptive. What this means is, particularly when you're newer at this, saying, I was bored, completely valid. There's never a time when I was bored is not a valid response to something you were bored by. Saying you should add a fight scene can be really bad advice. Sometimes it can be good advice. If you really know the person and know the thing and you know the subgenre and what the writer's trying to do, you can be like, I feel like a fight right here would really, snap things together. But it can be bad advice. I was bored can never be bad advice, right? It's always valid. Your response to the story always is. Now, the reader, the workshopee does not need to take that. They can understand, well, maybe you're supposed to be bored, or maybe this book isn't connecting with and clicking with you, and it's okay because someone else, that's their favorite scene. There are lots of reasons to not take that advice, but that response is always valid. Saying, I'm confused, always valid. Doesn't matter, like if you miss something, it's okay to miss things. The writer needs to know if you've missed stuff. They may not have made it clear. Maybe you just missed it. Maybe your kids were crying, or maybe your roommates were doing a raid, or whatever it is that people do. And they're like, there's like a Pokemon that everyone needs to catch, and you're trying to read while they're all catching their Pokemon, and like you missed it, and nothing needs to change. But it's not invalid that you were confused. Let them know you're confused. Be descriptive rather than proscriptive. This comes from, it's this great thing Hollywood does. I heard about, and I've loved it ever since. They do this test audience thing for a bunch of sitcoms, and they will get an audience together, show them the sitcoms, and then afterward ask them questions, and the questions are all about the advertisements, because it's not really a test audience for the sitcoms. They use the same, like 3 test sitcoms that never expected to be aired. They want to get your reaction to the ads, and they don't want to tell you that up front because they want to get your natural reaction. That's what the writer needs from you. They need your natural reaction, as if you didn't know you were going to be giving feedback on this, just reading it and giving them the feedback so that they can be like, oh, that's what I wanted, or oh, I was totally surprised by that, all right? So if you're the workshopee, right? If you're the workshopee, write it down and don't change anything yet. That's what that says if you can't read it. My handwriting. Somewhere Mrs. Sukup, my second grade teacher, is shaking her head because she trained a best-selling author and she warned him his handwriting was bad and she was not able to save him. If you're the workshopee, write it down, but don't change anything yet. Give it some time. Give it some space. Listen to the feedback and try to understand. Right? Try to get where they're coming from and understand if that's a reaction you want. Sometimes you want people to be a little confused. Sometimes you want them to want something they haven't gotten yet because you're going to give it to them in a few chapters. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe they're having you've done something wrong. They're having complete wrong reaction. They're all laughing at this thing that you thought was really serious. Really important for you to know. But stay silent. Unlike whatever it is over there making noise. This is good advice, particularly when you're new. Don't say anything. pretend you are a fly on the wall and that they're all sitting around having a book club discussion of the book, and you're just writing stuff down. Prevent yourself from defending yourself. Prevent yourself from explaining. If you defend yourself, it's just going to make people less likely to give you feedback in the future. If you explain it, then it defeats your chance to explain it right in the writing and have them get it, and you won't know if you are able to get them to understand it through your writing because you've already explained it and tainted them, all right? One more thing for the workshopper, be sure to say what is good. All right, way we do my workshop is we start and we make everyone say what is working up front so the writer doesn't accidentally change the things that are working. Plus, it's really good for you to get told what is working and that your writing doesn't suck before everyone launches into telling you how terrible your writing is, right? So we do a few minutes of that, and then we transition to things that could use a second look, is what we call it in my writing group. It's not things that are broken, it's just things that the reader felt, things that they want to highlight that you may want to have a second look at, stuff like that, all right?